All right, I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how to do active note taking in science. So you're asked to do an awful lot of watching pre-learning lesson videos, quick videos that teach you the introductory theory on whatever we're learning that week. It helps to get your brain into gear, learn a little bit about the content so you're actually ready to come to class with a bit of an idea of what we're going to be learning about, and you've actually got a bit of background in the information before you start. So this is practice for how you're going to be doing your homework, and if at any time you're confused about what to do, you need to come back and watch this video. I'll make sure that I'll put it in your yearly links so that if you need to review how to take active notes for homework, then you can actually watch this video again and know what to do. So the very first thing is we need to actually go down and open up the link. So now, in this case, our links are actually in the class activities because we're practicing this in class time. But normally, you will find the links in your homework. Okay, so this is actually what you're going to be doing for homework in week 2. You've got these 2 links here in your homework document, and you've got to use them to complete your homework. Now, the homework is broken down into 2 pieces. Firstly, the lesson that is in EP. So in this case, the lesson is called How to Test a Catapult. And this link here, which is to your homework document that you type up your notes into. Okay, that's a document that we've made on our Google Classroom. And you've got to essentially open up both of those and look at them in split screen mode. So this is how you do it. So I'm just going to do it with the How to Build Your Catapult lessons here. So firstly, if you tick this one here, How to Build Your Catapult, it'll go to EP and open up the lesson. Now, it'll look a little bit different with you guys because I'm having to try and work this with the teacher view as well. But you'll take that link to your Task and Assessment tab, and on there you'll be able to see any science work that's been given to you. Okay, so under your Task and Assessments tab, I've opened up week 2, How to Build a Catapult. Now, I want to actually pull that out and have that as a single window on its own. So I don't know if you can see this because of where my screen recorder is, but I'm going to pull down that tab like this and open it up so it goes into full screen. Then go back to your homework and open up this link here. So this link actually goes and opens up your Google Drive. Rather than have you go and pick things out of Classroom, I'm just going to get you to manage your own Google Classroom folder directly in your Drive. And the folder that you will all have in your own Classroom Drive is called 8 Science 2021 with the GMOW after it because of the class you're in. So each one of you has that in your Google Drive. This simply, when you click it, goes to that folder. Now, in this case, it's showing 8W because it's for kids in my class, but each one of you, it'll direct you to your science folder. If you go into your science folder, this is where any copies of documents we give you will appear. Plus, I did a bit of playing and found out you can actually add other documents of your own into this folder and it won't matter. As long as you leave this folder and put all of your science stuff for this year in here, it'll keep everything together. It doesn't matter whether we've copied it from Classroom or whether we've asked you to make it yourself and file it away. So for good organisational practices, any science documents for this year, you put in this folder. So now that you're here, I want you to do something really important. I want you to star this folder. Okay? So I want you to take that and go. Well, I like to change colours too, so I like to make it a colour I'll recognise. And I'd like to star it. That way it's actually going to appear in your starred list over here. Easy to find if you need to then direct from Drive. Right now you can see I've deployed to the class this homework document. Now this is the homework document you're going to be using all term long. In this case, my pseudonym is Tiberius Kirk. I'm going to open up this document as well in full screen mode. So this is our homework document. The very first thing that you're going to be taking notes on is how to build a catapult. And I need to actually share my screen with Education Perfect. So for those of you who don't know how to do this, here's how you do it. First, they both have to be in full screen mode. Second, you press F3. And it goes, hang on, okay, here's two different screens. See, you have two windows here, one with your notes on it, one with the lesson on it. You just drag one of these into the other window, like that. And it joins the two windows together. So literally that means you can do the lesson on this side, take notes on this side, or the other way around. But it just means that you can take notes whilst doing the lesson and view it all quite easily. So now I'm going to show you basically how to do this process. Firstly, I like to have my notes a little bit bigger, so I'll drag that across. I'm going to open up the lesson on this side. And the very first thing I have to do is watch the video and take some notes. So here I've got this video here on how to build a catapult. I'm going to play the video, starting and stopping it. And as I watch it, I'm going to be taking notes over here in my Google Doc, okay? Now, when you take notes, I don't want you to put down everything that I say. That's very tedious. It's not going to help you much. And on top of that, unless you put it into your own words, you won't remember it very well. And that's what these notes are about, learning how to listen or read and put things into your own words so that you can remember them properly. So the note-taking template we've got over here is actually one that is used all over the world. It's based on something called Cornell Notes, but essentially it is your title or your main point that describes what you're talking about goes in here. The dot points that would go underneath it go in here. And then any other questions or things that you need to clarify, you type notes in there to remember to ask questions about it later on. And the idea is that later, for revision, you come back and you actually summarize what you remember about this video in your notes to get your brain to go over the information again and help cement it into your memory. That's what active note-taking is in a nutshell. So here I am. I'm going to practice just for the first 30 seconds or so. First, I have to think of what is the main idea and what points would I write down on it. Okay, here is our lesson on how to build your catapult. Now, before we start, a few things. Safety is important to us, so make sure that you follow the rules. If we've told you to put safety goggles on as part of this activity, make sure they're on. And whatever you do, do not use anything for what it was not intended. Those rubber bands in the packets are going to be very tempting, but they must stay with your group. If not, then you'll be removed and you won't be doing the experiment with us. You can do it in your own time. So make sure that you do safety first. Okay, let's get on with building our catapult. First of all, take 5 paddle pop sticks out of your bags and 2 rubber bands and join them together like this so that they are tightly bound at each end. Now, I'm not going to be able to take notes on everything, and you might notice you can't just let the video play the whole time because you actually do have to stop and start so you can take notes. Notice over here I can't spell the word goggles. So my main topic or my main point first was safety, and I said to make sure you put on the safety glasses if you're told, and don't use pieces for anything except as told. In other words, don't use rubber bands for other little slingshots and stuff. Use them as you were told in the video, nothing else. Questions. What if I have some left over? Can I use them then? So I've put in some questions, I've put in some notes. Step 1 is my next main point. So you keep going down here and adding in steps. If you need extra rows, that's easy. It says it right here. Need more rows? Right click and insert rows above. So you just go right click and go insert row above. Got an extra row. Pretty easy. Okay? So that's essentially what I want you to do for taking notes, okay? Now, the last thing you need to do is submit your notes for peer review or checking. Now, you are all going to be looking at least 3 other peers' notes regularly to check their homework, but also to allow you guys to see how other people are taking notes, and you get to give them a star rating on those notes. This is how you do it. Straight below the video, there's a little input section here. Go over here, highlight that whole table. Go Command Copy. Go over here and go Command C for copy. Over here, Command V for paste. Done. And it will just stick your whole table in there for someone else to have a look at. Then it says self-mark here, but you'll have to submit, because when I put it out to you guys, it'll actually be submitted for peer review. It might ask you to say how well you thought you did with your notes. If so, tell it that. And that's how you submit or do your active notes and submit them into Education Perfect for peer review. And you'll be doing that every single time you do or have set a video to watch. Okay? So please make sure that you actually do put some effort into that, because there will be a large audience who will be looking at your work. And if you don't do this well enough, you won't be able to progress to the next lesson. So make sure you do the best you can there. If it gives you quiz questions afterwards, do them as well, and then submit, and you've done your homework. The next video that you'll be watching will be, once you've submitted that, it will then allocate you some peer review activities. How to actually do that peer review will be in the next video.